Welcome back, my name is Teresa and I'm very much alive. Not really. I have an awful, garbage, filthy mouth where sometimes, just sometimes, I tend to use the word fuck as a comma. I know, it's disgusting and it's unsavory, but I am gosh darn delicious. If you're not into that or weird stuff in general, this is definitely not the place for you. Feel free to X out the video here. No harm, no foul. But I'll remember our time fondly. I'm doing a get ready with me, and I actually didn't film my intro at first because I think if I started filming my intro, I knew I was going to cry, and then that would just kind of set the course for messing up my face for the remainder of the video. Because once I start crying, then I'm done. Like, my face gets red and I'm just like, I'm out for days. And you're probably like, what? Quit with the dramatics, lady. What are you talking about? So for these get ready with me's, I love to tell a story and just kind of play around with makeup. Now, if you are new here, hi, my name is Teresa and I am a garbage person. I don't review any of the makeup in these videos. I just play with them, try them on my face. Maybe I'll make a snarky comment here or there, but for the most part, I leave those thoughts for review videos, which will be done at a later time. So this video is purely just me just talking nonsense. Makeup is secondary, all right? So if you just want to know about the makeup, I don't recommend watching this video. For love of everything, just go watch something else. You'll be much happier. Now, I wanted to mention first and foremost that this video actually, I'm going to riddle this video with a lot of ads. And hopefully, if this video stays monetized, I'm going to be able to take all the revenue made from this video and I am going to be donating it to my friend. In today's video, I want to talk about one of my good friends, Dwana. I mentioned her briefly a couple of times on this channel. She is the lovely lady that actually married Alex and I. I've known her for a long, long time. We used to work together. We've always remained really great friends and I love her. She is a part of my family. The last 2 years or so, she has suffered horrible bouts of bladder cancer. And while she does have insurance, insurance doesn't pay for everything. And a couple of her good friends actually, I'm so sorry. See, this is why I didn't want to do this initially. Okay. Some of her good friends actually created a charity page for her and I want to be able to make a donation. And so I figured the best way for me is to make a video about her and just donate all the proceeds to that charity page. With that said, I'm going to riddle this video with ads. Okay, I am going to put ads probably every like 5 or 6 minutes or so. I'm really sorry that it's going to be annoying. I really am. But just know if you choose to sit through those ads, it's for a good cause and I'm going to be able to donate that to my friend. I know there's gonna be quite a few people that are looking for some sort of like the donation page. I don't want to give that stuff out. I don't want people to have to feel to donate to her or anything like that. That's why I want to do it this way. And I also don't want to blast all her personal information out there. I don't want to do that to her because I know she was even kind of weary about me doing this video, but I did tell her. So sorry, Dwana, suck it. But if you are really hell-bent and wanting to donate to a Venmo, then I'm going to use the Venmo that I created actually to pretty much save my mom from the New York City subways, which is TID Mama Uber. So if you do want to donate to that, which again, don't do it. Please don't do it. But if you do want to, just do that Venmo and just know that that donation will be going to Dwana. Once I know how much money this has been made, I will put it in my community tab, how much we're making, and I'll show you the proof that I'm donating it to the charity page and all that good stuff because again, I want to be completely transparent so you don't think I'm just running away with this money. No, this is really going for a good cause. So I want to say thank you right off the bat for one, clicking this video, showing me support, watching this video through its entirety. That means so much to me. Again, I just wanted to be transparent with everyone. And yeah, so without further ado, I'm gonna shut up before I start really crying. And I hope you enjoy this get ready with me and thank you. Okay, let's pin this gross hair back. I would use my headband, but I have no idea where I put it. Hello, my little chickadees. My face is red today. Love that for me. I love when it just gets red for no reason. It's like, hey, you're having really good skin? Fuck you. I'm like, thanks, friend. My skin's okay. It's just, it's having a moment today. And I have been trying to nurture her back to life. And she's been, you know, she's been a little combative like a teenager. And she's been giving me shit. And it's annoying, but whatever. My face is red. I feel like when I do this, it looks worse, but it's really not that bad. It just looks really bad right now because the two soft boxes I have, one is kind of cool, one is kind of warm, and that don't mix. I need to upgrade my lighting system, but I am too picky and I need to figure out what I want. I'm gonna tell a story. We're gonna be using this palette because I bought 3 Colourpop releases back to back. Who am I? I don't know. And I haven't played with the suckers yet. So yeah, because that's how long their shipping takes. So I figured I'm gonna tell a very long, drawn out story. I'm gonna tell a very long, drawn out story and use this palette, and hopefully we can create a really nice look, because from swatches, I'm not really in love with it, but whatever. We're not gonna talk about the actual makeup. I'll leave that for a future video. Anyway, where do I begin? Where do I begin? I want to tell y'all about my good friend Dwana. Dwana, you know what? Should I do 2 different eye looks today? Yeah, fuck it. Okay, all right, we're gonna do 2 different eye looks. Why not? We gotta use this palette, right? So we're gonna do something on one side. Oh shit, I have to go out today, actually. Yeah, fuck it, I don't care.
Judge me, Container Store, judge me.
I have a very good friend named Dwana, and I've known her for a very, very long time. How we got to know each other, actually, is because we used to work for the same company many years ago. When I first met her, honestly, I was terrified of her. Dwana is, first of all, this is what Dwana looks like. Dwana's beautiful, okay? She's beautiful. I'm kind of like, what are you doing in this world, bitch? You should be on a fucking beach modeling sunglasses or some shit. I don't know why you're working in the city, but I digress. But Dwana, how do I lovingly say this? Dwana has resting bitch face. And you know what? I know she'll... And you know what? She'll actually admit it. Her expressions are just very hard. She's the lady that you just don't fuck with. You know what I mean? You just don't fuck with her. What I love about Dwana is that once you pass that crunchy exterior, she has a sweet, creamy center, which sounded really weird when I just said that out loud. No, we have not had sexual relations. That's just the kind of lady she is, okay? She has a very crunchy exterior, but she's sweet, velvety, smooth. I need to stop saying that. Moral of the story, she's a sweetheart, okay? When you get to know her, you're just like, oh my God, your face just looks like a bitch, but you're not, huh? Like I said, when I first met her, I was terrified of her. It didn't look like she liked any jokes. She was just she just has a very serious exterior. So how we became friends, actually, interestingly enough, Dwana used to throw these work retreats for our company. In the first retreat we ever did together, she actually needed some help. And so she asked me if I'd be willing to help. And because she's so terrifying, I said yes. I was like, absolutely, whatever you need, lady, I got you. And she was like, okay. The day of the retreat was very interesting because not only was this is the first time I'm ever doing something like this, meaning like doing something for work where it required me to stay overnight somewhere, but I'm also, you know, supposed to be the right-hand man for this woman that I think actually hates me, because I will say every time I ever had an interaction with her and I would crack a joke, she'd just be like, and I'd be like, oh God. So I would always assume that she just didn't like me. Oh God, I'm so stupid. Moral of the story is never judge a book by its cover. So I'm nervous the whole way there because one, I think this is actually when I first started dating Alex, and me and Alex, like, we talk every day on the phone. And so, you know, just the thought of like not being able to do that, I don't know, it sounds really lame when I say that out loud, but whatever, we just like each other, okay? So I knew I was going to a place that apparently was in the mountains of upstate New York that has no cell phone service. It just sounded like the beginning of The Shining, which one, super excited because I love living out my fantasies, but two, also terrifying because I'm fat and slow. I will die first. So that's kind of like, that's how I went into this retreat. Like, oh no, things are just not gonna end up well for me. I should have took that Pilates class. After taking a very, very long coach ride, by the way, these are actually blending out very nice. So the swatches, while I wasn't happy with it, I'm actually happy with how it performs. And I'm gonna shut up about it. All right, I'm glad I'm actually doing 2 looks because I'm kind of loving what I'm doing. All right, stop it. Anyway, so I took a coach bus up with my group, nervous the whole way, didn't know what to expect. And when I first arrived, you know, Dwana is waiting for us out in the front of the hotel, and I get off the bus and she's kind of like, okay, like, this is what I need you to do. And I'm like, all right, got it, Captain. I'm like, aye, aye, Captain. And I'm pretty sure she probably won't like this to me. So I was like, all right, I'm just following you around, making sure whatever we need to do, we get done. The conference started, or the retreat started. It was kind of like a retreat slash conference, started right away. So we had to make sure that everybody, you know, got to the ballroom. Everybody is where they need to be. The AV was set up so people can just start doing whatever the fuck they need to do. I'm not gonna bore you with the details because it's boring. But the whole time, Dwana and I would have to sit in the back of the room. So if anything comes up, like if somebody needs help with the AV, or if somebody wanted a glass coffee mug because they found that the paper cups were just too offensive. True story, one of the women actually asked us to go find glass coffee mugs. Anyway, so we're sitting in the back of the room, and here's a little bit about me. I used to smoke cigarettes. Not very proud of it, but whatever. I smoked for a very, very long time. I no longer smoke. I miss it. Oh, I miss it so much, especially after a big meal and the first drink. I do miss it. But I smoked. I didn't tell anybody that I smoked because at that time, and still to now, people look at you differently when they find out you smoked, right? So I really, really, really wanted to go for a cigarette, but I just didn't know how to say it. So I was trying to figure out, because I don't want Juana to look at me differently, obviously, but I wanted to go out and have a cigarette. And I was trying to figure out, like, maybe if I tell her if I'm going to the bathroom, she won't notice. And I'm like, fuck, she's gonna smell it on me. Because I can imagine she's not like me, doesn't have a sense of smell. So she's gonna smell that shit on me and probably ask me, hey, bitch, where the fuck did you go? And I'm gonna be like, I was smoking outside, I'm so sorry. So I was just trying to think of, like, what can I possibly say? Maybe I went to the bathroom and somebody happened to be smoking out in the hallway, and then all the smoke just attracted to my coat. I don't know. So I'm like thinking about this. I can just imagine what my fucking face looks like, just looking very puzzled, like, how am I gonna get out of this one, Scooby? And she looks at me and says, hey, I gotta go outside for a cigarette. And my face lit up like a fucking Christmas tree, and I was like, hey, I smoke too. And she was probably like, all right, weirdo, like, you wanna come for a cigarette? I'm like, uh-huh. So we go outside. And I don't know about y'all, and if you have never smoked before, then you probably are never gonna understand this, but this is kind of for my smokers. When you find somebody that smokes cigarettes, and when you find that that person also smokes the same cigarettes that you do, it's kind of like you are meeting your soulmate, because everything just aligns and you're just like, oh my God, I thought I was the only one. You're not, oh my God, like, we're obviously meant to be. And that's when I knew, like, I like her. It was from that cigarette that we started to kind of get to know each other, and I realized that she is actually better than I expected. She was super fucking friendly. She, like, told me her whole life story. I told her my life story. We also used to smoke hundreds, so it did last a while, so we were able to get a lot of stuff out within that 7 minutes of outside smoking. But, you know, I found out a lot about her in that short time, and I was like, wow, this girl's actually pretty cool. And I'm like, oh, this weekend actually maybe won't be so bad after all. Oh, wow, bitch. Okay, I'm actually quite surprised. So from that moment, we became fast friends. The rest of the weekend was interesting to say the least. Every possible thing I could possibly do to embarrass myself in front of this woman, I did. So I would say that probably the most notable thing from that whole experience, for these group events, we kind of have to have group meals together. Now, thankfully, after this retreat, we had many retreats where we didn't have to eat with them. And I say them because when you have to eat with your coworkers and majority of them are socially awkward, oh my God, it is the worst. Having to sit there with people, you don't really get to know them on a personal level. They just want to talk about work. And it's not even interesting things either. I could see if it was something interesting, but it would be like,
Well, let me tell you this one time, I watched paint dry on a wall for 17 hours. It was riveting.
and I'm like, oh, fuck me. You know what I mean? So I had one of those situations where, like, a group dinner. Now, this is before I literally became Kirby and just started, like, power sucking everything. Power sucking everything. There you go. Okay. Ew. You know, very few times where I actually gross myself out. Fuck me. Okay, anyway, I actually really like what I did here. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. Wow. So anyway, so at one of these group dinners, it was kind of like a fancy affair where you had to get dressed up. Think of it like a wedding. You're sitting with like a group of 10 people, like in a round table, and it was like a 3-course meal. This place was like uber duper fancy. I was a very picky eater, so it was very difficult for me to like just try to remain cool while eating in front of all these people. Shit that I didn't want to eat. One of the appetizers actually was probably like least offensive sounding thing, which was a Caesar salad. Now, if you don't know, to make Caesar dressing, I believe it's anchovies. And so this place was so fancy that it wasn't just like Ken Caesar dressing out of a fucking bottle. No, like the chef actually made the Caesar dressing. So I remember all the salads arrived to the table, and we're listening to some fucking guy just talk about some bullshit. And I'm looking down at my food and I see something silver. And I'm like, what is it? What is this? So I'm kind of like moving it around and I can't really identify what it is. Like I kind of look at Juana and Juana's looking at me like, what the fuck are you doing? Like just eat your goddamn salad. And I'm like, I think there's something in my food. And she's just like, what? And I'm like, I think there's something in my food. And she's just like, so then of course somebody kind of grabs her attention and now I'm like stuck left to fend for myself trying to figure out what this fucking silver thing was in there. Anyway, as I was trying to poke around with it, people I guess started noticing that I was just like kind of just moving stuff around on my plate. So I didn't want to draw attention to it. So I just started picking some pieces, shoving it in my mouth, picking up some pieces, shoving it in my mouth because again, I didn't want to draw attention to myself. You know, in hindsight, I could have just said, pushed it in front of me and been like, I'm all set. But no, I'm a Libra. I make things complicated. As I'm looking at everybody else watching me look like a fucking weirdo, someone asked me a question, and of course I dug my fork into something, put it into my mouth, chewed, swallowed, and then realized as I was responding, I ate the silver thing. And when I looked at the person next to me in their plate, they pushed their anchovies and their anchovies were this big. And I was like, oh my God, I just swallowed an anchovy. And can I tell you, silently freaked the fuck out to the point where I looked at Tawana and I remember like just looking at her intensely and I was like, I just ate a fish. She was like, congratulations. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. I just ate an anchovy. And I remember her almost spitting her drink out of her mouth and she was legit in tears because the panic that was on my face. Because all I kept thinking was, oh my God, I just swallowed this fish. It's gonna live in my stomach forever. This is the stupid mindset I had. Yes, I know I'm an adult. I went to college, but this was the mindset I had. I was like, oh my God, this fish is living in my stomach and I'm gonna die like this. Needless to say, she laughed really, really hard and I had to excuse myself and almost dry heave in the bathroom because I was just trying to figure out how to get this fish up. Needless to say, from that very moment, me and her became greatest of friends. We worked together for so long that we went on vacation together. I suckered her into being the justice of the peace when Alex and I got married.
With these words to each other in mind, and before the rings are exchanged, please humor me by answering these last few questions. Alex, have you been threatened, harmed, or coerced into being here today?
No.
Theresa, have you threatened, harmed, or coerced Alex into being here today?
Yes.
Do you promise to continue to love, honor, and cherish each other from this day forward?
Yes.
And even though we stopped working together, we're actually still very close and really good friends. And I'm very, very happy to have her in my life. She's incredible. And I only wish that everybody had a Tawana in their life. Anytime I introduce her to people, everyone just falls in love with her. She's just fun. She's just fun. Okay, this kind of was like a glitter bukkake explosion. Not what I expected it to be, but that's what happens when you have fucking mats and sparkles. I hate mats and sparkles. I think it's so fucking stupid. But whatever, that's fine. And one of my other favorite work retreat moments we had was when one of the last work retreats that we had, actually it was the last work retreat we had, and people look forward to them because we try to make them fun. So yes, while it is, you know, kind of boring meetings that you're sitting through all day, every day, we wanted to be able to kind of have people have fun at nighttime. Whether that's a slightly open bar or what have you, we've always tried to do that for this group because, you know, everybody kind of needs time to rewind. So one of the things that we were able to accomplish, and this was literally the only time that this ever worked, was one of the places that we got to stay at, they had a karaoke machine. And we figured, oh, you know what? This would be so much fun to do if we got everybody really drunk and watched them sing. Because that sounds hilarious. These people normally are, I don't want to say they're uptight. They're not, I don't want to say they're uptight, but you know, they're just, like when you look at them, you don't think like, oh, they're going to lose their shit when Journey comes on. You know what I mean? It's kind of like one of those moments. Okay, I kind of essentially did the same fucking eye on the other side. Why? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? That was so stupid of me. The whole thing was to fucking be different. Which kind of goes to show that you can't really be different with this palette. It's pretty though, but like not what I wanted. Fuck. Hate when that happens. When do they get to the fireworks factory? Hold on, I know, sorry. If you know where that came from, let me know down in the comments. All right, let me clean up this glitter bukkake and I'll finish up my story. I'm gonna go in with some tinted moisturizer stuff, so just a heads up. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. Oh, also I wanted to preface by saying that, yes, my skin gets red. It's not the products, it's just me touching my skin. That's how sensitive my skin gets. Don't mind that. I know it looks terrifying, but it's just, that's literally my skin. Oh, did you hear that? That's a pouring in the making right there, bitch. Woo! Okay. Oh, that's disgusting. It's like I'm rubbing toothpaste on my face, but it's not. So since the place that we were staying at was actually in Connecticut, my best friend Michael, the skinny legend, sorry, I just like saying that. Since he lived in Connecticut, I was like, hey, Michael's the kind of person that doesn't matter who you are, what you are, whatever, but at the end of the night, you're going to be up, dancing, having a good time. And so knowing this, because I mean, like, listen, I might come across like I'm super like a social butterfly, but I'm not. I'm really not. I'm actually quite introverted, especially in group situations. That's where Michael shines. Is always the polar opposite. You have your quiet ones and then you have your outgoing ones. And Michael is the outgoing one in this relationship. So with that said, I called him up. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm at this work retreat. We're going to be forcing these people to do karaoke, but you know me, you know how socially awkward I can get. Do you mind coming over and hanging out with us and kind of pretty much starting this party? That was kind of the premise of it. So Michael was like, got it, bitch, I'm on the way. Actually, I need my new mirror. My little vampire mirror. So Michael finally gets there in the afternoon and kind of explained to him, you know, what we plan on doing. Unfortunately, these groups of people though, they had to do like one group session and then eventually like they would have an after party. Now the whole retreat in itself was pretty uneventful for the most part, with the exception of the bartender of the hotel trying to have sex with Joanna, but that's another story for another day. So that was interesting, kind of dealing with that situation, but whatever. Joanna, I'm sorry. That was a weird dude. Okay, any hoosies. Michael gets there. We explained to Michael like, hey, this is what we're planning on doing. Go do your magic. Now, when the company explained to us like, hey, we have this karaoke machine, we're thinking like it's like a proper karaoke machine. No, this one was legitimately like an old school stereo and a huge book of CDs. Half of them were scratched. Half of them didn't want to play. You had to dig to find anything. But what we could find though were some gems. Anytime karaoke starts, usually people are very, very shy, myself included, until I have a couple of drinks. Next thing you know, I am screaming Paradise by the Dashboard Light by Meatloaf at the top of my lungs. Not even joking. Anytime there's a karaoke machine, anytime I'm with Michael, guaranteed and destined that we are going to be singing that at one point, where he's the girl and I'm the guy. All right, it is what it is. He has a better voice than me, so I take it. Anyway, place was weird. So the hotel had its bar, right? It had a couple of pool tables and had the area where we had the karaoke stand set up. Next door to it, so there was like a small hallway and then like another big kind of ballroom area. That's where they kind of had like a little mix and mingle kind of party where it was like some wine and some cheese and they were just like talking about some work bullshit. And so Michael, to kind of entice people to come over, he pretty much just acted like as if this was like a telethon. And he was like, come on people, drop those posters and come in here. So anytime someone would poke their head out being like, who the fuck is screaming or singing on this like microphone, he would entice them over, where next thing you know, everybody that was in that one room started to come over and they wanted to drink and just play and just like have a good time with us. I have to say, if it wasn't for Michael, I don't think the story would have played out the way that it did. I really don't think so, because me and Joanna were both antisocial fucks. So we would have been like, we're just gonna keep to ourselves. But no, fucking Michael, it was the one to kind of bring everybody together. So props to him. He starts kind of getting everybody over. And then of course now he's starting to get my bosses over. Now my boss was, he was a very nice man, but very quiet. Very, very timid. Didn't really hear him say much of anything. But when he saw the karaoke system, he came over to us and he was like, oh,
is this the only selection you have?
And we're like, yeah, you know. So he's kind of going through everything. He winds up finding this one CD and he gives it to us, and I forgot like what number it was. He was like,
play 6.
And we're like, all right, cool. He starts singing Barbie Girl. I don't know if I still have the clip from it, and if I do, I'll insert it here.
Oh, well, Barbie, let's get this party started.
This man, when I tell you, this man was so into Barbie Girl, it brings a tear to my eye, because it was just like, you know, you don't really know people until you get them in these situations where you get them drunk. You put a fucking microphone in front of their face and you're like, hey, sing your heart out. What are you gonna pick? I'm gonna pick fucking Barbie Girl. I'm gonna go in with this Lethal Cosmetics. Oh, Lethal Cosmetics came out with some new bronzers. I'm gonna be reviewing them soon, but they're fantastic. Anyway, I'm gonna go in with this Cool Tone Boy right here. I've been playing with him for like, I don't know, like a week now or so. I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love with anything that they fucking do. They're great. They could literally shit in a bucket. I'd be like, oh, they're so wonderful. Anyway. So after that moment, it just got so popular that everybody pretty much get on the microphone and start singing. And it was just, you know, a lot of Journey. Sometimes we would have like a Thelma Houston song jumped into the mix, which was always very, very fun. And what was really great is that, you know, Michael was kind of leading the way. People were like, oh my God, you should work for our company. And he was just like, all right. It was fucking hilarious. And it was really funny because as fast as Michael came, he like broke out through the night because I think he had to work or whatever. So like he was able to come hang out with us for a little bit, pretty much start and end that party and then, you know, saunter away. And the next day, people kept coming up to me and Dwana being like,
we really loved the entertainment last night. You should really think about hiring that guy. Like, I think that he's super fabulous. Like, we could have him in the office.
and I'm like, okay. Absolutely. Oh my God. It's like, is there a job for someone just bringing the party to life? Because one, he should fucking be the CEO of it. But also, how do we make a job like that in our office? Because that would be amazing. But anyway, it was just really fun. I think I went a little too bronzer crazy today. We're gonna pretend that I'm on vacation today. Look so virginal today.
Hello.
What was actually really funny is that morning we were having group breakfast after the retreat, after Michael left and all that stuff. The big boss, his girlfriend was there and she was just a weird character in general. She would often wear like really low cut, tight things and just kind of walk over to all the young men in our office and be like, and like she would just have her tits literally up to here like they were a serving tray and she would just flirt. Was that the retreat or the retreat before where they got into, the boss and her got into a really big screaming match because she, I think almost her titty almost popped out at dinner time. No, that wasn't that retreat. I think it was the retreat before that. Yeah, because she was banned then from coming after that. But anyway, she was also really kind of fun. She was weird. Actually, that retreat story though, when she, when that happened, oh God, when that happened, she like, she pretty much like got too drunk at dinner and was like flirting a little bit too much. And unfortunately, boss man didn't like that one. So he reprimanded her like in the dining room, but away from people. So you could kind of like, everyone was like really quiet. You're just like trying to listen like, did he just call her a floozy? I think he just did. This highlighter I'm going to be using is from Kaleidos. This is the Space Prophecy. This is the multi-chrome one, which I'm super excited to play with. What was interesting about that retreat too is that the last day that we were there was like a big breakfast. And normally like at that point, me and Dwana would try to find like a table elsewhere to be away from the group. But that one, it was like after the big fight from the big boss and stuff, he beckoned us to come to the table to sit with him and her. And she was in tears. She was like silently, not silent, she was loud actually, sobbing into her tea, like, and he was just asking us like, oh, okay, you know, yeah, we think the retreat went really well. Like asking us logistical questions like, oh, what time is the bus is gonna arrive? What time are we gonna get back to the city? Da da da, do you have this? Can you do this? Da da da. And she is just sitting next to him crying. And anytime we would kind of like look in her direction, he would kind of just like almost do this. Like, so say she's like this, he would just like kind of move his head over hers to be like, bring it back to me. Don't look at her. Don't even look at her. It was so weird. But at one point she kind of spoke up and said,
I'm crying because this nature is so beautiful.
And he just looked at us and said,
she has allergies.
And then we just kind of continued to eat. It was the weirdest fucking that was a fun. What? Oh my God. What? This doesn't go with the look, but are you fucking kidding me right now? What is this? What is this sluttery? Oh my God. How do I go outside the house like this without wanting to just have sex with people? Like, what is this? Sometimes I say things that I'm like, what the fuck are you saying? I'm like, I don't know. I just don't know. This is a look. Whoa. All right, hold on. We're just gonna take this powder brush to kind of make it not look so semen-y. Oh my God, I feel like a cyborg. What? Take me to your leader. I love that. Oh my God, yes, bitch, yes. It doesn't go at all, but I fucking love it. Oh my God, what? All right, you're probably not gonna be able to see the shift, but it's fabulous. It's like red, orange, yellow. It's basically fall in multi-chrome. I got the meat sweat for days, y'all. During the Sephora sale, I finally pulled the trigger and got the Jouer highlighter. And you know what? It's everything that I wanted it to be and then some, okay? It's so good. On the nose. I feel so slutty. It doesn't go at all, but who cares, right? We're only going to the Container Store to act like a Karen and just yell about things. So fucking pretty. I cannot stop eye-fucking myself. All right, what are we gonna do for eyes? Because we have two different looks going on here. Also, I have this fun thing. I love it when it works. Not like that moment where it stopped working. You know, it sucks when you start doing stuff and then you realize it stopped recording. So what I'm gonna do actually on this side, I'm taking the two Glossier Play Pencils, one in the shade Stable Relationship, which is this beautiful green color, and then I'm gonna use Nectar, which is my favorite mustard of all time. So I'm gonna do like the green towards the back and like the yellow towards the front. I'm actually gonna take this Marc Jacobs pencil, which I don't even think they make this anymore, and it's like pink. And I'm gonna pop that in a waterline. I like it because it's not white, because I think white looks funny on me, but it like outlines my eye where it makes my eye look a little bit more awake. So anytime you see like a baby pink color or like a nude kind of beige color, I recommend checking that out. And see, it looks like my eye's a little bit wider today. I feel like I just need something in the inner corner. Okay, so now on the other side, what the fuck do I do here? So this is actually from LA Girl. This is the baby pink color. So I picked up all their new pastel liners. I again will talk about in a future video, but I like the pink. The pink is cute. Kind of tie it all together. And then we're gonna go in with maybe a little bit on the lower lash line just to darken stuff up and then call it a day. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm kind of really happy that, you know, Joanna and I were able to kind of spend our like last retreat doing something really fun, and it's really all thanks to Michael for just fucking making that party lively. When I stopped working with Joanna, you know, it was sad because we were work wives, you know, like we did everything together, like everything. It's like you couldn't see the one without seeing the other, conjoined at the hip pretty much. And it was really sad when she left and I left and we no longer worked together, but we always made it a point to stay in touch and stay in each other's lives. It's funny when you work with somebody so much for so long, like you see them day in, day out, they actually become family. And if you can connect with somebody on a deeper level that's not just work stuff, that's when you know you have like, you've made a friend for life. I'm just so thankful to have her in my life. I'm so thankful that she's connected to me in a way that just makes our relationship really special. She married Alex and I. She has always been there if I ever needed anything, not only from a friend, but from a professional standpoint. She is one of the hardest working people I know. I don't want to get emotional. She means everything to me. And so with her being sick, it has been really frustrating too, because, like, you know, we can't really see each other because of COVID, and it just breaks my heart because nobody deserves to go through that, and especially her, because she's such a kind and good person. I want to just, you know, do whatever I can to help. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. I really hope you enjoyed these weird stories. I do have other stories with her, but I felt like, you know, these were kind of like fun introduction stories in our friendship. So funny, like she's been with me since the start of me and Alex's relationship. Shit, she went on vacation with us. We went on a fucking cruise together. She's been there through my hard fucking times. I've been there through her hard fucking times. She's family. She is my family. So anyway, hopefully, bottom line is anybody's lucky to have a Joanna in their life. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you to those that sat through the ads and are able to help me make a nice donation to help her with her medical bills, because I need her to be around for a long time. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Okay. I think the last thing I need to do actually is lipstick. Which, what the fuck, what goes with this look? What do I have? Do I have anything new? Oh yeah, I do. I have Byredo. Hold please. I don't know if this is really gonna go, but I mean, it is what it is. I don't really like it. I think I need something pink. You know what? Why don't we just throw some gloss on top of it and call it a day? I'm gonna throw some Wayne gloss. Yeah. All right, I think I actually like that one a little bit better. Anyway, this is the final look. I just want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And I will be reviewing this makeup in the future. But if you are new here, I want to kind of reserve this time for playing with makeup and just talking shit and telling stories and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed it. And again, thank you to those that are sitting through the ads. I truly appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. Want to hear more stories with Dwana? Let me know down below. I'll be more than happy to fill you in. That said, I want to say thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it as always. Feel free to like, comment, hit that subscribe button, it's free, and hit that bell icon for notification of all my future posts. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Patreon. To all my beautiful, wonderful patron bubbies, thank you so much for everything. Thank you for voting for this one technically to be the palette that I play with in today's video. Thank you for making decisions for this Libra because I don't know how to do that for myself. And as always, thank you so much for keeping this disgusting, filthy, terrible garbage boat afloat. I couldn't do it without you. If you want to know what are the products that I played with, along with where to get my merch and my podcast, everything will be listed in the description box below. Continue to stay safe, keep wearing a mask, keep washing your hands, and just be good to each other. And I will see you pumpkins later. Bye.